Okay, so on Thursday, I made a video about the shooting in DC, and since then, a lot of information has come out about the shooter and his past. Uh, the alleged shooter, Rahmanullah Lakanwal, worked for the CIA in Afghanistan out of Kandahar base, according to CIA Director John Ratcliffe. The alleged Afghan shooter, Rahmanullah Lakanwal, began working with the CIA around 2011. Yes, he may have been 15. 15 years old. He was recruited by the CIA to be a soldier. And she goes on to say that it was common for Afghans at the time to forge birth certificates to appear to be 18 or older before applying to work with the U.S. government. And to that I say, you know what a 15-year-old looks like. Like, there's a pretty big difference between 15 and 18. Like, bullshit. Like, fuck off. Like, and also, like, Jesus Christ, you shouldn't have been in the fucking country in the first place. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And there, you don't, oh my God, you trained this boy to be a fucking soldier, to fucking fight against the fascist authoritarian regime in the country. Like, hello? National Guard shooting suspect worked with CIA in Afghanistan. So when I first heard this, when I first got the news, I was like, is this a false flag type thing? And I just kind of like took the facts as they were when I was talking about it in the video and didn't bring it up. But then this information came out and I was like, oh, this is kind of like a perfect storm. Like, you have people in fatigues with assault rifles on the streets of multiple cities in America. To any veteran, that has got to be somewhat a little bit triggering. And to all these people, to especially if you have some form of PTSD, which we know a lot, most soldiers or veterans who have come back from overseas have in some form or another. Especially for the CIA trained operatives that are used to do the things that the American military are too scared to do because they would be accused of heinous war crimes. They will just train locals and get them to do it. Afghan man accused of shooting two members of the U.S. military in downtown Washington, D.C. once worked alongside the CIA in Afghanistan, officials have said. Rahmanullah Lakanwal drove thousands of miles from the West Coast to launch in an ambush-style attack on two West Virginia members of the National Guard on Wednesday afternoon, authorities said. He shot Sarah Beckstrom, 20, and Andrew Wolf, 24, at close range just a few blocks from the White House, officials said. And they both remain in critical condition in the hospital. Since then, Sarah has succumbed to her injuries, and she unfortunately has passed away. Which is obviously it's heinous and horrendous, but it's especially frustrating because one of her family members, I think her boyfriend or somebody, came out and said that she had literally told them that she doesn't understand why they're in DC. This is not what their job is, blah, 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 blah. She was critical of the post that she was in because even she knew that it's bullshit. Like, we all can tell that there's no need for them to be there. And if they weren't there, this wouldn't have fucking happened. She wouldn't be fucking dead. But what does Trump do? Send 500 more National Guard into fucking DC. Like, it's fucking insane. Mr. Lakanwal came to the U.S. in 2021 under a program that offers special immigration protections to Afghans in the wake of Americans' withdrawal from Afghanistan. And I want to be clear here. The withdrawal of America from Afghanistan, that was Trump started that. Trump wanted to do that. That was Trump's thing. Biden just finished it. So the withdrawal in 2021 was Biden with just Was Biden just fulfilling a promise and a initiative that Trump had already begun? So to say that, oh, he came under Biden, he came under Biden, he came under Biden, because of you, motherfucker. Like, you're the one who wanted to pull out of fucking Afghanistan, and that's one of the best things you've ever done as a fucking politician. So, and I'll give you your credit when it's fucking due, but you cannot solely blame. Everything is not Biden's fault. You need to come up with something new. And his immigration status, refugee status, was approved under Trump this year. He helped guard U.S. forces at Kabul airport as thousands scrambled to escape Afghanistan. Ooh. He helped U.S. guard forces at Kabul airport as thousands scrambled to escape Afghanistan before the Taliban took power. A former military commander who served alongside him told the BBC. The father of five had been recruited to the Unit 03 of the Kandahar Strike Force 9 years earlier. His unit was known locally as Scorpion Forces, operating initially under the CIA, but eventually for the Afghan intelligence department known as the National Directorate of Security. So, literally trained by the USA to be an operative within Afghanistan. Mr. Lakanwal was a GPS tracker specialist, the former commander told the BBC, describing him as a sporty and jolly character. His whole unit was moved from Kandahar to Kabul 5 days before the Taliban entered the capital. They continued to protect the airport for another 6 days before they too were airlifted out to the U.S. At a press conference on Thursday, FBI Director Kash Patel confirmed Mr. Lakanwal's connection to U.S. forces, saying the suspect had a relationship in Afghanistan with partner forces before moving to the U.S. Fucking vague. Like, in the wake of the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021, the Biden administration, with bipartisan support, created a program called Operation Allies Welcome that allowed 77,000 Afghans to enter the U.S. under special immigration protections. Because most of those people had helped the U.S. government in their illegal offensive on Afghanistan. Let's be real. You had no business being in Afghanistan. And I'll go as far as to say that neither did fucking Canada. Canada broke its record of being a peacekeeper. Big fucking quotations on that, because we've silently sat behind and funded and watched regime changes for 70 years, ever since Iran in like the 50s. So miss me with that bullshit, Canada. But one of the biggest fuck ups of Stephen Harper, even not counting the fucking financial crisis that he led us, two of them that he led us through, the defunding of abortion, the defunding of LGBT protections, all of the fucking, even the fucking birth of the Conservative Party. There used to be two conservative parties, and it was until fucking Stephen Harper and bitch ass fucking Peter McKay fucking bitch ass, those fuckers made it into one party, and they won the fucking prime minister again, and they ruined the financial market again, like conservatives always do. The people who they're talking about right here, the 77,000 Afghans, a lot of them were translators or special operatives like him. So if they were left there, they would be immediately targeted and executed because they helped the U.S. So the Biden administration had a huge obligation and moral, ethical duty to these people, and they owed them that refugeeship. They owed them asylum because they had dedicated part of their lives to the U.S. military and their illegal offenses in the Middle East. The program was in place for about a year following the U.S. withdrawal as the Taliban took back control of the country. There were fears of retribution against those who had cooperated with the U.S. So like I was just talking about, a lot of people who cooperated and helped the US were scared of being targeted and executed by the Taliban because they were viewed as traitors. Mr. Lakanwal, 29, who was among those who entered the U.S. through this program and was paroled into the U.S. on humanitarian grounds back in 2021, according to the BBC's partner CBS News. Ew. Cut that. You can cut them off. That mechanism was the main one of the Biden administration used to bring Afghans to the U.S. Mr. Lakanwal later applied for asylum in 2024. His application was granted earlier this year after Trump came to power. His application for asylum was granted earlier this year after Trump came to power. So you literally cannot blame Biden for anything. The vetting process fell on your watch, bitch. His request for a green card, however, which is tied to the asylum grant, is pending, a Homeland Security official told the same network. The Biden administration justified bringing the alleged shooter to the United States in September 2020 due to his prior work with the U.S. government, including CIA, as a member of a partner force in Kandahar, which ended shortly following the chaotic evacuation, CIA Director John Ratcliffe said in a statement to CBS. Well, obviously, he risked his life for the U.S. government and ostensibly committed a lot of deplorable acts for the U.S. government against his own people in a lot of cases. For the U.S. government, because they asked him, they indoctrinated him, they trained him to be an operative for their goals. They owe him. You owe him asylum. You owe them refuge. You created him. Like, what the fuck? The shooting of the National Guard members was targeted, said the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro. Judge Janine. Ugh. What a joke. Also, in this video, does she not look fucking, like, just drunk?
Marksman is struck.
She looks rough. You could tell this was like a impromptu, like she just had to like hop out of her fucking drunken stupor and get to work. Oof, she looks rough. Oop, look at that sneering look. Drunk ass. Anyways, the shooting of National Guard members was targeted, said the U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, noting that Mr. Lakanwal drove his car across the country from Bellingham in Washington State to carry out this attack, which is just crazy. Also, it's so weird I don't understand it. None of it makes sense to me. Like, why? I don't understand. Well, I don't understand murder in general, but then also, he's from Washington. Isn't National Guard still in? National Guard was in Portland, which is just one state down. I don't understand this. And it feels, I don't know. I mean, obviously, with this administration, everything is going to feel fucking like hard to believe because you can't trust them. So even the clear cases, we're going to be looking at them weird. After the shooting, other National Guard members on the scene shot Mr. Lakanwal and detained him. He faces more than a decade behind bars if found guilty of 3 counts of assault with intent to kill while armed and 1 count of possession of firearm during a crime of violence. He remains in hospital while being treated for his injuries. In the wake of the shooting, which Trump labeled an act of terror, the president said that he would take steps to remove any foreigner from any country who does not belong here. Whatever that means. Talk about the broadest fucking declaration ever. What the fuck does that mean? Who classifies any country who does not belong? Like, who? What the fuck? On Wednesday, the U.S. suspended all immigration requests from Afghans. Great. Pull out of, like, you fucking go and destabilize this country for like 20 years. Then after that, this full-blown offensive that you've waged on this country, you're like, you pull out, which I'm not saying was a bad thing. It was a good thing. You should have pulled out, but you should have pulled out 20 years prior. You should have never been there to begin with. But afterwards, and then you're after pulling out and saying, good luck, good fucking luck, and letting the fucking Taliban take over, you're not even going to fucking give the people who seek refuge from the shitstorm you created, you're not going to give them refuge. You're going to blame an entire nation of people because of one person. If any country pulled this type of shit with America, it would be like, oh my God, 5-alarm fires. One of our premiers ran a fucking commercial quoting what Reagan actually said, and you ended all trade talks accused us of political interference and all the fucking 9 yards. Like, what the fuck? America is a dictator. Know that. On the global stage, for the past 70 to 80 years, America has been a dictator. And you might not think that because you've had democratically elected presidents in office, but that does not mean that your actions on a global stage have been democratic. They have not been. You have been dictating how other countries run, how other countries trade, how we all interact for years and years. And we are all tired of it. This presidency, this regime, Donald Trump, is an amalgamation of all of your terrible foreign policy over the past 80 years. And it's all been fucking bullshit. You reap what you fucking sow. Trump said that U.S. Must now re-examine every single immigrant who has entered our country from Afghanistan under Biden. Jesus fucking Christ. You approved him. What do you mean re-examine? You were the one who examined him. You granted him asylum this year, dipshit. On Thursday, just called somebody dipshit and then I said on Thursday. Okay, well, two things can be true. On Thursday, Joseph Edlow and the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services chief said that the president had directed him to conduct a full-scale, rigorous re-examination of every green card for every immigrant from every country of concern. What are the countries of concern? Like, all the people with, like, all the countries that have people of color? Like, what the fuck? This is so... They've been looking... Kyle Kalinske said it today. They've been looking for a Reichstag fire moment for months now. And, like, they're just going to use the murder of a 20-year-old girl who didn't even think that she was, who didn't even feel like she was needed as a National Guards member in D.C. She was murdered for no reason. And now they're going to use her death and her murder as a justification to send more troops into more countries and stop letting more people into the country. Like, stop even more immigration. Like, it's actually insane. In addition to reviewing immigration efforts, Trump said he would send another 500 National Guard members to patrol the streets of Washington. Insane. Already, more than 2,000 troops have been guarding the nation's capital since August, when the president began deploying troops to cities to tackle what he called out-of-control crime, which just doesn't exist. If you wanted to attack crime, if you wanted to actually do something about crime, you would go look at the top 10 states for violent crimes, and you would send the National Guard there, even though that would still be hugely overkill and stupid and unconstitutional. You would start with the top 10 violent crime states. And guess what, motherfucker? 9 out of 10 are red. Look it up. statistics for violent crimes per state. It's the Bible Belt. If he wanted to do something about crime, he would tackle those states. He would not start with fucking Portland, Oregon, Chicago, New York, fucking DC. Like, what the fuck? Especially after crime in DC had already dropped 30% prior to him even invading. So, what the fuck? National Guard troops are a reservist force that can be activated to serve as military troops, but have limited power as they cannot enforce the law or make arrests. So what's the point? Like, what's the point? They're just there to make a show? Like, he's just priming the public to be ready for military in the streets. He is priming you to be ready and used to military on the streets for when he declares martial law, for when there will be military on the streets during the elections to intimidate you to vote for him again, because he is going to run again if he makes it that far. Trust and believe. All right. Have a good night, everybody. This is fucking bullshit. Keep your eyes open.